Hey YouTube, how you guys doing today? Kevin here, coming back at you with another video. Messing around with an oil pump right now, and just trying to check it all out. I have one all apart in pieces. I tried doing a video on this a few minutes ago. My phone died, so we're working on this again. Just trying to figure this all out. So the answer to that last video was no. You have to take the whole thing apart so you can clean it out, clean out the shavings. Okay, before you tap it. And we have to make sure we can even tap it because that hole right there is a little on the bigger side. So we might have to change the whole entire body to one that is threaded. But that's okay. So I was going to tap this one out, but looking at the hole, it's too big to be tapped. And I want to keep the factory lines, so I don't want to do that. So we're not going to use this pump after all. We're going to use another pump. So I was going to use, this is the one that came off of it. We're not going to use that pump. So I will just go in my stockpile and grab another pump. Okay. A little bit older pump, but nevertheless, just as good, and we don't have to tap this one. Okay, I was all ready to tap a pump too. Man, so excited. But then it just shot me right down. Alright, so what we're going to do is we're going to use this pump right here to do the video and for our build. Okay, so we're going to just take these off. These are the oil lines. This pump is off of a ke100, by the way. So that looks too well. So we're going to take that and we're going to switch that out with one of these. Okay, that looks a lot better. If they got any rust on them at all, I don't want to use them. I'm like that, you know. You got a nice motor, you want to keep it that way. Okay. Banjo fitting. Use that one too. Make sure it's got the washer. Oh, I don't see a washer on this one. Put the washer on. And thread that back into here. Alright, now that we get that part done, okay, I wanted to explain to you guys, we're going to take apart a pump in a minute anyway. I'm going to show you guys the ins and outs on them. This is actually a newer pump, so we're going to put this back together. This is the pump shaft right here that goes inside. This is the part that spins on the inside. So there's a worm gear. And it sits like this, okay, on the back side, and it spins this right here around, and it pumps the oil out through these holes. One part receives the whole oil, the other part pumps it out. This is the part right here that's driven by your gear, that white gear I showed you about. So inside your motor you have a gear, and the Kv75, you have that little, that nut that goes on the end of the center shaft, that has the drive on that, okay? So, that's basically how it is, and then there's a cam at the bottom there that actuates the whole thing. Right like that. So, what we are going to do is put this all back together and get this all squared. So that's what's inside of an oil pump, for those who do not know what's inside of them. Okay, so you have the shaft that goes in there first, slides all the way to the bottom, and you can see the little gear coming through the side. That's when you get this little brass washer on the end, spacer. It goes in just like so. And then that's it. And then that turns it and pumps the whole thing. Then you have your little pressure valve and spring, goes on top. Just like so. You get a little O-ring that fits in the groove. Right like that. Then you get your cover top that goes on with 2 screws. And that's what's inside of an oil pump, guys. That's pretty much it. Nothing dramatic. Nothing too fancy. And nothing to write home about. However, they are pretty cool. Okay. Then at the bottom is your cam right here that actuates that piece in the middle, moves it up and down. So what that does is when you do this, that piece that I showed you, that long cylinder piece, that actually moves it up for more oil or down for less oil. Okay? That's how that is. Now for this one, we have the, what do you call it there? So he goes all the way around, doesn't really matter. It's gonna keep going. Does 180 degrees. We are going to see about where they go. What I want to do is I want to see if they are the same, because if it's 180 degrees off, I might have to change out that one piece in the middle there, because we know that this lever right here and the spring are opposite. Now I cleaned up the spring a little bit, and I put it on my finger with a little bit of oil and took a brass brush and just went like this all the way around. Then I spring checked it to make sure it's not rotted or rusted up so bad that it's going to snap on me, because that would suck. Okay, so now that we got that part all underway, we need to make sure that the cams are in the same position. Alright, so we're going to take this broken one here and put this cam in the same position right there. So the flat spot is facing me. And see the cam in there? You can see it moving around. One's higher than the other. And it goes all the way around. I want to see if that cam location is in the same spot. Just like that. Okay. It looks to me like the cams are 180 degrees off. So we got to find out how to get that cam out of there, because I need this opposite cam. Or else I'm going to have to use the whole entire pump. And I really don't want to use the whole entire pump. Only because it looks like crap. So let's see if we can get this out of here. What's involved with getting it out? Okay. First is a washer. And then it looks like it should just pop out. But it doesn't look like it's going to just pop out. Because I think that piece is holding it in. Alright, so let's see if we can release it. Let's pop this back apart. Now we got to take this pump completely apart to get that center part out to release that cam. I think that's what holds it in. Because we definitely need the left side cam. Okay, let's see if we can get this pump apart. That just pulls out the back, by the way. There's nothing really holding that in. Okay, that pulls down that way. There's the pump itself. Okay, there we go. Got it. Okay. And then we're going to wipe up this cam. See right there? See the cam? That cam is one-sided. Okay? Looks very, very good. There's an O-ring on here. One brush. Okay. I'm going to put that cam with that one, and then we're going to take the one that we're going to use. We're not using this pump, but I am going to finish putting it back together, because it's basically a brand new pump, and we don't want to mess it up. All right. So now Okay, we got that pump all set over there. Here is the pump that we're going to use, and we got to take this one apart to get this cam out so we can switch out this cam for the other cam. Alright, so now for that, with the screwdriver, here we go. Boom. Boom. Undo this one here. Boom. And boom. Gotta remove both covers, unfortunately. I'm keeping the parts separated. You notice the cam pile over there? Because we want to make sure that when we're doing this, we have all the parts and pieces in the right spots. Okay, you guys see me all right? Yeah, okay. I'm just taking off these top screws. There's one there. One here. Okay, there's the cam right there. That's the part we're after to change. Then we're going to take the pair of pliers and pop the back of it off. Pop goes the weasel. Okay, good gasket too, by the way. That came right out. Alright, now push that down through, and then the cam should pop out the front. Just like so. Okay, now I'm going to show you guys the difference between the cams. Okay, there's a flat spot here on the cam where the lever goes onto. You can see how this part of the cam is on this side. I'm going to hold this flat part of the cam over there too. Look at that, maybe into a liar. They're the same cam. Same exact cam. So I took that apart for nothing. See, that's why we do this channel. You guys can see my flaws too. Okay, so we know that the cams are the same. And if we put it this way and flip it that way, it's just going to be 180 off. Okay, so we're alright with that. Alright, apparently that's good. Alright, so we're going to put that back in. I guess it doesn't really matter because we push on it either way. See? So, you don't have to remove your cams. That's good to know. Well, since we got this part, let's go through it. Like we said we're going to do. Okay. So, you can see down bottom here where it's tapered, and that's the part that rides on the cam. So, as this thing is spinning, it's going up and down. Okay, that's why it's got long gears. They ride on the end of that and they have movement. See? Okay, and then up top there's your pressure regulator, which is the spring. It's in this. So, for this part here, you got your tapered part down. Where are you guys? The tapered part here goes down towards the cam. Just like so. Slides right in there. You get your washer up top. Your gasket, I should say. Which we're not going to use that gasket. We're going to take it off that new one because that had a nice gasket to it. In fact, we can just use that. Why don't we just do that? Why don't we just take the internals? We'll do it like this. Forget it. Take that gasket off because it looks flat. Like it's been on there 100 years. Cleaning as we go, guys. Cleaning as we go. And this bottom one doesn't look too healthy either. So we're going to replace both of these with used ones from that other pump. Okay, here we go. Alright. We're going to put the mechanism together. We're going to use all the nicest parts on this one. That we can use, I should say. All the nicest parts that we can use. Okay, that's going to fit on there like that. Goes into this hook of the spring. Where are you guys? This hook of the spring right here goes into that groove on that. The spring goes on the right side. This is for the Kv75, guys. Just so you guys are aware, I'm doing that for that. This is not for the KE. This is the same pump as the KE. In fact, I'm using a KE pump on a KV. But to modify it, you just got to switch over that spring part there. Okay, so they'll fit. Because that's realistically the only difference between the two on the pumps. far as the pump's concerned. And yes, this is a pain in the neck to pull out, you guys. Let me shrink you guys down so you guys see what I'm doing. I'm trying to put this hook piece right here on this post, as opposed to the post that was on before. So I'll go like that. Get that on there somehow. Okay. This actually goes on this side of it because it pulls upward. And this spring right here over and doesn't like to go on. That, my friends, is difficult, but can be achieved. Okay, now I have to get that over to that side over there. There, I'm there on that. Just like this. Lock washer and the nut. Wow. That's crazy going right there, guys. Okay. I'm just sticking that nut up. Make sure the cam works. Yes, it does. Alright, it's going to fit on like so. Then I can take the pump part. There is two types of pumps. There is a fine pump and there is a coarse pump. To find out which one you have, you just have to look at your threads, your teeth. This is a fine one, so that's going to be mated up with the fine one. Then you have your coarse one. You want to make that up with your coarse one. Noticing this difference makes me wonder if I should put the coarse one or the fine one into that one. I don't think it would matter because it's only a change in the pump pole. However, two totally different setups. I'm putting it together with the coarse pump. Okay, yep. And as you turn this right here, it's turned the pump on the inside. If I wanted to put this to the way of the KE, I would use the other pump, the fine one. So I wonder if there is a difference in the amount of oil it pumps with that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this newer KE pump right here and I'm going to pull the back of it off. That is a coarse pump. I bet you any amount that changes because a finer one is going to spin slower. So if there's an RPM difference in the pump, that the pump would be different. Okay, so what we are going to do is we are going to actually pull that back apart. Okay, we're going to pop that back off. The hole ends up there. It's a different style pump altogether on the external. The parts are interchangeable. However, the actual coarse and the fine thread, the fine teeth, we're going to use the fine teeth on the the Kv75 because I think there's a difference in the RPMs of that. which this thing looks absolutely beautiful anyway. So that's what we're going to do. So we're going to use the fine one from the KV into this one if it fits. And it does. Yep. Okay, then we're going to use the fine one. Make sure you get that little piece on the end. The seal looks good. So we can go ahead and assemble this. Just like so. Yep, okay. So we got that part all underway. Now we're going to put the seal and the cover back on this bottom piece. We're going to use the newer one from the newer pump. So we're actually mix matching pieces to make it as great as possible without buying a new pump, using parts and pieces. I know I'm kind of losing you guys all over the place here. I hope you guys can follow along with me. I'm just taking the best of both worlds and combining them. More of a hangout video. I apologize for the lack of information on this particular video, only because I have never had one of these apart before, to be honest with you. But you can't be afraid to take things apart. Don't be afraid to tear your stuff apart. Okay. So it all works great there. And then on this side, we're going to take a gander at the difference between the regulators on the top. So this one literally looks exactly the same. Plunger style with the bar. This one has a big pen. So we're going to use the one that came out of it, that came off the old pump, because it has a different tip. Now if you're looking at the top of the drum right here, you can see how this one has a big hole, that one has a little hole. So you're going to use the one that goes with it, obviously, which is just basically a spring in this pin right here, and that fits in there. That's your regulator right there. That's the pressure regulator. It holds it in, and it what happens is as it spins, inside is like a little cam, and it goes up and down, and it puts the output to it. So we're going to use that one that came off that. So we're basically just swapping the bodies, because I didn't like the way this one looks. I mean, that's going to be a bear to get out, and other than that, it's the same body. So we got some parts and pieces that we're going to swap and alter, and I wanted to keep it factory, so that's what we have to do, unfortunately. So we'll sacrifice a new pump, put the parts into an old pump, and end up with a great parts lot. Now I can take this cover and use it on that one. We're not going to reuse that gasket. We're going to always use new gaskets when it comes to anything oil related. Yes, that's a fat pump too. So these are different pumps, the same on the outside, different on the inside, and that's the difference between the pumps. But you can use them. I think if you use the KE pump and a KV motor, you'll over oil. To be honest with you, I think that's exactly what would happen. Do I have a nice looking cover? Oh yeah, that's a nice looking one. It's different though. Can't use it. Have to use this one. What's the one that came off it? Yep. Okay. Same thing. Yep. Okay. Got the new seals in it. Well, newer seals. They're not new. They're used, but they're good. Okay. Alright folks, and there you have it. So we have the oil pump, which turns really nice, right in the back there. This is going to be the oil pump for this particular motor. We got the nicer looking bleeder screw right there. This thing should work out just fine. The cam's all switched over, everything looks good. It's going to fit in, the cable comes over, hooks up, and goes this way. And then I want to check on something on the bodies. Yep. Now on your Kv75, your what the heck you call it? Mt1 there. Okay, you gotta clean these up really good. There is a adjustment for this. Now, if you look on the body, there's a scribe line. You see a scribe line? There's also one on this lever. So up at the top of the engine, where the cable goes through, right here, okay, you can adjust that cable in and out. Now you're probably saying, okay, what is that adjustment for? That is for your oiler. Okay, so with your carburetor all adjusted, and you're not touching the throttle. The throttle's just being at rest, left alone. What I do is I go whomp, 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 and leave it alone. Okay, that's with the engine off. Okay, hit it 3 or 4 times, and then let it go of it and leave it. Okay, after your carburetor has already been adjusted, and everything is there's all peace on earth, animals and cats and dogs living together in peace and harmony. Okay, you're going to use that adjustment up top on the case, and you're going to adjust the cable so that that line and that line line up. You see the scribe line right there? You want to make sure those 2 lines line up like that. That is the set adjustment for the oiler. Okay? And it's done from up top there, and that's how you properly adjust your oiler. Okay? So we learned today that the KE housing is the same. The internals are different. The internals on a KV have a finer tooth than the coarse tooth that is used on the KE. So if you put this on your bike, you're going to over oil, or you might under oil. Okay? So make sure when you get one of these, okay, it doesn't matter as long as you get the right mechanism on there. The cam is in the same place. Okay, so we note that the cam is in the same position. Okay, it's just that, and on the ke100s, all right, here's the spring. Spring is in the same place. It uses this boss right here, and where's the lever? And the lever right here. Okay, would be on the back side of that, and it'd be up like that. And instead of going upwards, it would go downwards on the KE. So you can see how there's a right and left, or back and forth, or an up and down. Okay, so this one right here is all set to be installed onto this case. So we got it right here. The cable comes down through to this right here. You adjust the cable until those 2 timing marks line up, and then this thing's all set. And then when you throttle it, this will move upward and then down. And the pump is in the same proper spot. Okay? So we got that part all done, and that is all set to go. We are going to use the newer screws, which we already have in our template that we made out. And then we got to take this one here and put this someplace safe, because this one's all set for the KV. I'm going to put that in the box with the parts. That's how that's going to go. Alright, so on the bike we have the oil pump is all done. Oil pump is done. We have the rod we have to modify. We got to finish cleaning the case. We got to do the fuel tank. That's going to be a fun project. The fuel tank is going to be the next project. So I'm going to pick the stuff up right here, put the stuff away, and then go from there. So anyway, guys, thank you for watching. Sorry this video was kind of all over the place, but that's what we do. We do projects, right? So thanks for watching. Please subscribe. Have any questions or comments? By all means, please post them below. Thank you.